Hello, everybody, and welcome to Back and Forth. I'm your host, Gecko Man, and sitting beside me is our co-host, Rogue Gambit, the man with the gift basket.
And don't worry, I already told everybody, so it won't be awkward.
All right. It's not what I was expecting right there. All right, She-Hulk Episode 2.
Yeah, She-Hulk Ep2. What were your thoughts? I know you really wanted some Daredevil.
Yeah, I wasn't, telling you like every second of the episode. He's going to show up.
And I kept telling you he's not going to show up. He's going to show up.
No, I actually really liked seeing Abomination pop up like that. Like
Leblanc.
Yeah, I really liked seeing him. I like seeing him as well in Shang-Chi, but just in this, I just liked the amount of screen time he had in this one.
Yeah, I think that the actor Tim Roth, I've always liked him as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I remember first seeing him in Lie to Me, and like, oh my goodness, I really enjoyed him in that show. And I think he does a fantastic job as Neil Blonsky, even like in just like his character in Incredible Hulk, right? Like it's like this soldier that wants to like do the right thing, but it's like so arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I thought he brought that out really well. I liked seeing like things from a villain's perspective, right? Like he's just like yes, you could tell. Like they did. Okay, I thought they did a good job of having him like be sympathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's still being pretty obvious that he was like playing her
Yeah.
and playing you. Like he was just sarcastic enough. Like his tone was just right. Like, and then of course they set up. Anyways, not good. I'll let you go.
Well, I definitely had a slight moment where I was like, man, is he actually wanting to be good here? Because I know nothing of the story of Abomination, but yeah, I really enjoyed him in this episode. So I'm glad they have him in, and I loved the talk about the first time, about the fight between him and Hulk and Incredible Hulk and stuff like that.
Yeah, showing like a different perspective of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't expecting too much talk about like the Incredible Hulk, but with that much, I was like, yes.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're showing that it is canon, and getting a lot of things out of the way.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice. I did like the little letters that he sent to.
I wanted to hear some of his
I know. I really wanted to too. That was good. Other than that, what do you think of I forget the name of the place, but the dude who hired
MLKNH?
I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's like G.
Oh, GLKNH.
Yeah.
It stands for Goodman, Lieber, Kirkman, and Holloway.
Okay.
It's a reference to Marvel Comics because when they started, they were started by Rick Goodman, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stan Lee's full last name is Lieber. And then Kirkman's another one who Kirkman is another person who started Marvel, so it's a reference to that.
Okay.
And then Holloway is Holloway or whatever.
All right.
I really like him. Holloway. He was probably my favorite character. I do not know who plays him. He looked a little familiar.
He didn't look familiar to me. I may not have seen him in anything else, but
continue.
Go ahead.
No. I would hate to talk over you.
Yeah. So I just have my suspicions about him, like wondering if he has something to do with, the villainy, possibly of what happened at the beginning of and at the end of the last episode.
Like if he had something to do with Titania showing up?
Yeah.
They haven't.
I know they haven't done anything to really talk about it other than that, oh, you had a winning case against us until that one person showed up. And
well, what he said was you had a winning case until I got it thrown out.
Yeah.
I got it mistrial. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that was reference to that. I think that was just reference to him being...
I don't think so either, but...
having just so much pull.
Yeah, but...
And when her boss talks to him, I don't know, somewhere at the very start you heard Titania got mad about traffic court or whatever and decided to Hulk. Oh yeah, the news reporter said, and our influencer superhero Titania showed up after traffic court or whatever, got heated at traffic court or something like that. So that made it sound like she was already at the courthouse in traffic court. Of course, he could have set that up.
Yeah.
But I felt like that kind of, at least, I don't know, put me at ease. I don't know.
I have a sneaky suspicion that he just did it to throw the case. And
I think he, but like, I don't know. There's nothing that tells me that he would know she was She-Hulk.
That's true. You're absolutely right. Right. Why he changed tactics later on and hired her to get more popularity for his.
I'm very interested to see actually why he hired her, because is it like how? What's the word? How evil is he?
Yeah.
How, like, is he
the main,
or is he just like helping Blonsky and or whatnot, and or is he just a guy who saw an opportunity to become more what's the word? Get more eyes on his law firm or whatnot.
Yeah. So what if I may? This is kind of going a little off track here, but I do want to get this out there. So what I saw in this whole episode and about is when he said you had a winning case about us. Of course, I don't really understand the whole rules of attorneys and cases and stuff like that. But I don't think she ever really had a chance to bring her case to the judge.
Well, it was right before the closing argument.
Yeah, okay.
So she had done her case. She was just about to have how the episode started was with her saying her closing arguments, like, this is how I'm going to close.
Oh,
and he's
that's
like,
right.
That's going to wrap it up really good. And then she was about to give that speech when Titania shows up. So we don't know what happened after that. We don't know if she was then able to finish her closing arguments and then it happened, or if they just went to recess then, or what.
Yeah. So So since it was the closing argument, I could also see it as and it was apparently a little recess or whatever it was before those closing arguments. He could have had the time, Titania, traffic, all that stuff, probably, depending on what type of power or hold he has in courts, to set that up and then stop it. And then once he saw that she turns into this She-Hulk, he's like, okay, well, I'll take you for myself, and boom, more popularity.
I could also see him, because I felt like her getting fired was a little bit excessive. They were like, we don't need your liability or whatever.
Yes.
But I felt like they jumped to, so I wouldn't be surprised if he made some, if he knew, if he knew what is she called? She's the something attorney general or whatever, the assistant attorney general. What was she called?
I don't remember.
Lieutenant or something. Anyway, she's just under the attorney general, right?
Yeah.
So if he knew the attorney general, because that's a high political office at that point, he would probably know, since Holloway is so high up in his law firm and his law firm so big, would probably know them, and so he might have been like, hey, you should fire her, and he takes advice because why not?
Yeah.
That happens too. So that could be a possibility as well.
Okay. No, yeah. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. So another thing is where's Hulk? Hulk is going back to.
All right. So what we talked about after episode 1 was this could have something to do with World War Hulk, Sakaar,
Probably something that could have happened.
Clearly that's something they're setting up because he's leaving.
Yeah, he just left. And is it going to be connected to this whole She-Hulk story going on, or is it going to be completely separate?
I think he's gone. He's not coming back.
You don't think he's coming back? Do you think we'll ever know what he did or what he's going to do?
What we do know is they now have full right to put Hulk in a solo film.
Yeah,
we know that. So I do think one's coming. I don't remember the details, but I know that I've mentioned on here about Mark Ruffalo's contract and how many movies he has and stuff, and we didn't know. It was when we first had rumors of him coming into She-Hulk that I was like, well, we know he has this many movies or whatever, but we don't know if that's including She-Hulk or its appearances. So each episode it takes away from his contract or whatnot. So we don't know because we know he's probably going to be in Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty and all that. It's like how many other movies are left, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I do think we will have a World War Hulk movie solo film in that. It would, of course, have a lot of characters if they followed the World War Hulk story closely at all.
Yeah.
Now, where that would be, so we seem to have most of Phase 5 fleshed out what that's going to be. There might be one movie, I'd say is the limit to the amount of movies that they're going to add to that. Of course, it's that February date that I think might be Deadpool. Then, after that, Phase 6, I think it does fit into that. I think that's how they could tie that into King Dynasty somehow. I'm not sure. It might have to be really early in Phase 6, so it doesn't have to be too tied to it. But with incursions and stuff, if it follows the story, so in the story, basically, when he first goes to Sakaar, he becomes the champion of Sakaar, basically becomes the ruler of Sakaar. He has a kid, Scar.
Mm-hmm.
The ship that he was sent there on by the Illuminati blows up, ends up killing his family. So he holds like the Illuminati responsible.
Okay.
So he comes back to Earth to seek revenge. Swim, boys. Anyways, and then
all right, moving on.
so how they could play it in this, because right now, right, he's not fully Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Professor Hulk. He's a little smart Hulk, whatever you want to call him. It's got the brains and the brawn together. If he has a kid on, let's say that this ship's coming to tell him that he has a kid on Sakaar, and he's now like, I think the best story I think they could tell is Scar, because Scar is a gladiator in the ring just like him, and he becomes like the grand champion. So if he's like got the son, he goes back to be like, wait, I have a son. He goes back there because he doesn't remember, right?
Yeah.
But he apparently remembers a little bit. We don't know. I don't know how much I think it would have been better if he didn't mention like that he knew what it was. Then he gets like explains like, oh, that's Scar, whatever. Maybe he was studying it because he wanted to know what Hulk was doing there or whatnot. So he's studying Sakaar or something. I don't know how. That's how I would play it. I don't know that that's gonna be how they play it. But anyways, he goes back to meet his son. His son's like those ruler or whatever. Basically, he's the Grandmaster champion. I don't know. And then he ends up having to like fight his son and whatnot. That'd be a really cool storyline. But then on top of that, that could also be a way for him to like start his Banner and Hulk to be at odds, right? Because if Hulk would like fully come out, he's mad about the woman he loved there dying or whatnot, his son dying, whatever it might be. That could make the Hulk really mad, right? Bring him out fully, so he's not Professor Hulk anymore. He's Hulk, and now Banner's back to his little.
Yeah, I was kind of curious to wonder. I was wondering, like, are we ever going to get
a
full Hulk, or are we?
I really hope so.
Yeah, I
know that fans are really wanting it, and so I mean, Marvel generally listens to fans well, and so I think that they will.
You know, I've always been kind of curious about, like, since they seem to set up, we're going way off of She-Hulk here.
Right, we'll get back.
We'll get back, but just a quick question, quick something here. Do you think that would change kind of how Hulk and Banner, like, take control, basically, if Hulk were to come back like this? And
I think, so they never really explained what he did to become Professor Hulk, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we know, though, that Hulk works through anger, right? So if he gets angry enough, he gets stronger. If he gets angrier, he gets stronger. If he gets angrier, he becomes more and more and more this alter ego of Hulk. And that's why I think it was important in She-Hulk when he asked, like, don't you have another voice in your head? Don't you have an alter ego? And she's like, I don't think so. I think that's showing us that she will eventually Hulk out all the way and learn that she has an alter ego. But at the same time, that's like he still has that. It is now at this balance where they both have somewhat of control. But if he did get angry enough, I do think Hulk could fully take over.
Yeah. But I'm just wondering, though, because we've seen, like, say, this is, again, going off track, but say Earth's Mightiest Heroes
Yeah.
show. We see how their connection is. Bruce Banner is basically fully aware of what's going on around them, or
He's fully aware, but he doesn't necessarily have memory of it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And like the more Hulk takes over, the less he's aware. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think there's that shot in it where he's like in the head, right, and he's
Mhm.
like in the black, and he's just slowly getting blacker and blacker, or whatever.
That's true,
As the
that's
Hulk
true.
Like, takes over.
But he's able to communicate with Hulk
Right.
through that, and it's not this weird. Like,
Yeah, they haven't shown us like an in-depth look into like how Banner and Hulk work yet.
which I'm hoping.
They've seemingly almost avoided it. I don't know if that had to do with contracts and stuff, because they knew that they were eventually going to be able to have a solo Hulk film
Yeah,
again, and they didn't want to like step on the toes of the people who had their solo Hulk film, and if they wanted to have another one, like
Mhm.
I don't know exactly their relationship, what the contracts were, so I don't know if that was part of the contract or if it was just like an expectation of theirs, but that they have definitely seemed to avoid it.
yeah. I would
And
love to
definitely
see. I would love to see something like that, like kind of this Hulk and Banner talking, and like them actually finding a way to work together. Basically, I would love to see that. Moving back to She-Hulk, though. Anything you expect after seeing the second episode?
All right, so there's a couple other things I want to talk about. So we did then again tie it more into the MCU, of course, at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see that, so we know this happens after Shang-Chi, the events of Shang-Chi, or at least the middle of Shang-Chi, I guess. We don't know because they were like in that one place for a long time.
Definitely kind of ties down some things of where
A little bit, but we don't know
just a
how long.
time.
We don't know how long he was like at his father's place before they went to the place where they had the whole last battle, right?
That's true.
So it could be that this is happening at the end of Shang-Chi, right?
Yeah. So it must
But I
be.
believe it is after Shang-Chi.
Yeah, it definitely is because of that. With that whole fight,
Right.
It's definitely either after Shang-Chi or possibly
At
would-
the end of Shang-Chi.
at the end of
That's
Shang-Chi.
the earliest.
Yeah.
But all that to be said, that does tie it to the MCU more. I was surprised we didn't get Wong actually talking to her, because like I know in the trailer he does, and so I was kind of
It
expecting
must
that.
be in the next episode
Yeah.
after seeing.
She's like, I need to talk to him. What's going on here? And
Yeah.
he's gonna be like, well, whatever. I don't know the reasoning, but
It's going to be interesting to know what they've been doing.
yeah. Now, my expectations going forward are, I think that she is going to get Abomination acquitted or whatever. I guess not acquitted is not the right word, but get him paroled.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to start his little Namaste group that has seemed to appear in the, or he's going to be like required to go to it or whatever. I don't know who's going to be. It's really confusing because it's like called Obama or something. Like that. There's a little sign, so it like seems like he might be the person running it,
Or
but at the same time, it could just be one of his like followers or whatever,
Mhm.
his little pen pals.
You know what I think? It could be that one guy that you've been
Johnny
saying.
Blaze.
You say is in the show, but
I mean, I'm just saying. His. I don't think it's him because he's like a magician who has his own like act.
that's
And
true.
in the same shot, we see like it's like a convention seeming thing. And
Mhm.
it's like Obama stays there, but also Donnie Blaze is there. Like they seem very separate. Like he's got his act, they got their act. So I don't think they're the same. I could be wrong. Now, yeah. So I think in the next episode we're probably going to get that, figure out
Yeah.
what's going on or a little bit more what's going on. I'm really, really interested to see if Holloway, because like there was that shot at the end where he's like talking to her, you know? I was like,
yeah.
I thought there's going to be some little thing where, because like it almost seemed like somebody was in his office at that point, and I thought it could be Madam Hydra.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And I thought that's what it was going to be. Like she's like, thanks for thanks for helping out or whatever. Now that could come later. Like they get Abomination out, and she's like, thanks for the help.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be the whole reason of why he wants Abomination out of there.
Right.
I was thinking that maybe he knew Abomination, like he
Right.
knew him personally and stuff. Like
Now, what we don't know is the one thing I didn't like about this, and okay, I should say I really liked the episode. It was much better than the first episode. in my
Definitely.
opinion. The humor was funnier. The family
Yeah.
scenes are great. I really liked her father. I think the end credit scene kind of
ruined
who he was. Like
Yeah.
he seemed like he actually cared.
Yeah,
And then it was
yeah.
like, oh, he's just taking advantage. But like that's kind of what a dad is, like they're like, I do care about you, but you also are really strong. So why don't
Ouch to all the dads out there.
like he definitely cared, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he needed help, and so he got a little help.
Oh my goodness.
What? I love my dad. Dads are great. Anyways, the but I did like it. I liked the aspect of it. Chad, I didn't really get him. He was such a Chad. I get that. That's funny. Ha ha. But I didn't really get his character. Like,
I don't know
who he was. Like, whose son was he? Her brother? Another cousin?
I have
Was
no
Bruce
idea.
Banner's parents there?
I think so, but at
I'm
the same
like-
time, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, he also makes me think of a character. Think of somebody who is I'll just say he was a Gamma hero. I don't know why. I'm just getting this faint, like I forget his name, but the blue one. I don't know his name. I don't know what he's called. Atom Smasher or something like that, or
I know who you're talking about. Huh? Yeah, I don't.
A-Bomb. Is that his name?
A-Bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
How does he remind you of A-Bomb?
I have no idea, but it might be because the only thing I've ever seen him in was in Hulk Agents of Smash.
Right.
That weird show.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
don't
know what was up with him. I want to be surprised if he becomes a Hulk eventually. Like,
Yeah.
he seems like he's starting to get jealous and whatnot.
Yeah.
So if he starts doing this, but he doesn't seem to be a scientist or anything, so it could only go wrong. I mean, it would be really interesting if he became like an absorbing man or some villain.
Oh.
It would be interesting.
Yeah. I have been.
Which A-Bomb had been a villain too, so.
Okay. All right. Quick little side off turn here to kind of end this whole talk.
I don't have so much more to say, but okay.
Well, to end my anger for speaking of absorbing man and all that. So,
Okay.
I just recently watched a video, and it was talking about how it said all Gamma characters in the MCU, and it said She-Hulk, Hulk, Abomination, and then it went on to Absorbing Man.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, how is he in? We haven't really seen anything of him. We haven't seen anything of him in the MCU.
Okay.
And they were talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And this was came out this year sometime. I got really confused. I was like, wait, hold on. That makes no sense because they said Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is its own thing.
Well, it's really confusing right now if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon because there's a lot just because of the multiverse and because there is a lot of rumors about Daisy Johnson.
Yeah.
Joining the MCU in a movie stuff. They're all rumors and stuff, but a lot of people think she's coming, Quake's coming, and the guy that's has all the mechanical parts.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I don't know. Keeper.
Why can't I think of his name? But anyways, so I can see why people would say that.
Okay.
I guess.
I was just really confused because the last I heard, they said they were Deathlock. Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, I was really confused because I the last I heard of them was the fact that they weren't a part of the MCU. But yeah. Yeah. So moving on. What else you got to say?
All right. So, anyways, I liked the episode, but I don't remember what I was just saying.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's what I'm here for, just to pop in at the wrong moment to make you forget.
Yeah. I did think the episode was better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see where they go.
Oh, here's a little something.
Okay.
The cube.
Oh yeah, I was really expecting him to say the cube, and then she interrupts him. Thank you. That reminds me.
You're welcome.
So,
I had a feeling it was something like that.
So the cube, I don't necessarily have a problem with them not saying it. I'm interested if they will now, because I thought they were going to. Now that they have it, I don't know if they will call it the cube.
Well,
it very much looks like the cube.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if they're gonna I don't know if they don't want to call it the Cube because the Cube isn't run by Damage Control. The Cube is created by Mr. Fantastic and Bruce Banner. And if they we don't want to do that yet. So those could be a lot of reasons why they don't.
Well, is it just me, or does the cube look like it's not even fully finished? It just looked like the base of the cube, not the whole thing.
I mean, it has the big old cube thing popping out of it.
I didn't see that. I must have been blind because I just saw it was just the main bottom part of it, not the cube.
Well, it didn't have, okay, so it wasn't the same. Like in the comics, right, the cube is, this pentagon shaped thing with the cube on its point coming out. And it wasn't like that. But it did have a cube section that was smaller coming out of itself a little bit.
Oh, I might have not seen that. Again, I could have been completely blind to that because I was expecting something much bigger. Talking about this?
I'm talking about all of it. I think that's what they're going for with the geometric shapes, right?
So,
they were keeping it as accurate to the comic book as they could without being comic booky, is what I felt like. Because that isn't what the base looks like, but it has a lot of cube-like elements to it.
That's true.
Without being a full giant cube. Anyways, y'all can't see what but you can look up pictures of it. Anyways, So here's what I didn't like. The way, I don't know if anybody out there has been fired and looked for jobs and been hired, but especially in law, and in jobs that pay that much, there's a lot of contracts that go into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't like the fact that it was like this verbal thing where he could just fire her at will and she could just say yes or no, and then they're suddenly hired, come to work on Monday, never signs anything, just has this job, and if she doesn't take, did she literally sign a contract that said, I will do the jobs that you tell me to do or I get fired? That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Especially in a law firm. yes, you work for the law firm, you're not your own lawyer, you don't get to pick and choose what you do, you have to do, but without him just saying that, it felt very awkward. And then the fact that she didn't, the way she just accepted it right away, I felt that was a little I get that she's a little rushed, but she's not worried that the person she was just going up against, she's suddenly being hired by.
Yeah.
She wasn't worried about that at all. I felt that's the part I felt was rushed a little bit, and but I did, like I said, I really liked Holloway's character, and I think they played him off as this, you're not sure how good he is and how evil he is, and they're doing a really good job of that.
Speaking of Holloway and wondering if he's good or evil, that moment when she's talking basically to the audience, we don't really know what Holloway was talking about.
Right.
He could have been asking her hey, I think we should probably, give villains the chance to be evil.
And she's I'm agnostic about that. I mean, we don't. Also, speaking of, she broke the fourth wall again. I kind of enjoyed it. It was a little more like the classic fourth wall breaking, right? In this episode where she's just giving her a little monologue of what's going on in her head or whatnot.
She was also venting a little bit.
Right. And I kind of enjoyed that a little bit more than I did in episode 1. But yeah, that's true. We don't know what he was saying.
Yeah, he could have been just telling her his whole evil plan.
That is funny. I told you about this. What? But they haven't really made it seem that she doesn't know what people are saying when she's talking to us.
Yeah.
It's not like she's daydreaming and off, people, right, will do that with fourth wall breakers. It's they'll be off daydreaming, talking to you, and then they come back and they have no idea what's going on. It didn't seem like that was the case in episode 1. Maybe that is actually how it is, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true, but it definitely seemed like that in this episode.
Right, she was having to come up with wait, I'm agnostic about it,
Yeah, but she was also kind of glancing off into other rooms, kind of thinking, so kind of gives her this thought of oh, she's actually thinking about what she's doing and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So that's episode 1, 2 of She-Hulk.
Are you sure you got the right episode there?
1, 2, yeah. Season 1, episode 2. 1, 2.
There you go.
Yeah, so what's going on in the old Star Wars universe?
All right. So, some crazy news about Andor. Apparently, this one has been officially announced that it's going to be for adults, not for kids. This is
Do you know what it's rated?
I don't know what it's rated. I'm assuming it's going to be R-rated, maybe
Oh, that.
something. That's what I'm thinking of when people say
Right.
for adults and stuff. But I could be wrong. I also got a look of a clip of Andor and our good old faithful this one guy, the dude who played in Thor, the scientist guy who
Eric
helped.
Selvig guy?
Yeah, talking. Interesting. Like, it made me want to, like, really.
What type of character is he playing?
He's playing like this rebel leader, but he's also a senator, I think.
Okay.
So it's going to be kind of interesting to see a senator be a rebel leader. So, like, it's interesting. Like, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, watching that really made me excited for the show. I am still worried of what they're going to do with Andor, like, but he does seem like this guy like, I think what they're going to try and do is make him like this guy who's like doesn't care about anything.
Okay.
He's just doing what he's just doing what he needs to do to live.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That'll be interesting.
But at the same time, he does talk about like the Empire in a way of like he hates the Empire, which, of course, understandable. He grew up. He's lived on the separatist side for so long.
Right.
So I'm excited to see his story and all this. I'm hoping it's not like this boring thing that they do, like what they did with Boba Fett. Oh, I've got something here. I've got something. This is stuff. There are so many rumors out there, so many things, but I think it has finally been confirmed. Boba Fett season 2 is coming.
Okay.
Which is kind of surprising with how season 1 went and all that. But at the same time, it's like, we might need this just to kind of give Boba Fett the screen, like, for him to actually be Boba Fett.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
That's true. But yeah, so that's kind of interesting. Other than that, yeah, just don't know what else is going on with the other Star Wars stuff. Haven't seen anything new about that. Still don't know if. No, yeah. I'm assuming all the other Star Wars stuff has been moved back due to Andor being moved back so far. It is confirmed though that.
So what's the next thing after that? It's Tales of the Jedi?
Tales of the Jedi.
Do we know when that is going to be then?
Not sure. I would have to guess either end of October, maybe early November.
Okay.
And then it would have to be whatever's coming out in December, late December, I'm assuming. But due to Andor coming out so late, they're now releasing 3 episodes on the day of release.
Okay.
So we're going to see that. This could be interesting. Hopefully it doesn't ruin the story in any way, because when you do something like that, you could really ruin a story like that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, all right. That's all I got on Star Wars. Any questions you have?
I don't think so.
You're not even excited for Andor?
Oh, no, like that sounds like the Andor I want to see. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm excited. A couple weeks away still. Speaking of a couple weeks away, it's now 2 weeks till Marvel D23.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of rumors about stuff finally. We know what we think. So we got some official, announcement of what they're probably bringing forward, what they're going to release. From very, very qualified sources, we believe that we are going to get the director and cast for Fantastic Four, which I'm quite so excited about.
Nice. Do you want to maybe spill some of that, or do you want to wait?
We don't know who they're going to be. The rumor that we're hearing is that the director that we're hearing rumors about is Matt Shakman.
Really?
Now, he's the director of WandaVision.
Yeah.
It's the thing that he's, I guess, most known for. He directed all the episodes in WandaVision. He's also directed quite a few episodes of Succession, which I really, critically acclaimed TV show. He's directed some episodes of The Boys. I think he did some Game of Thrones. But anyways, lots of TV shows. Hasn't really directed many movies, if at all any. He is going to direct the Star Trek 4 movie is coming out.
Okay.
So I don't know when that's supposed to come out, but that does make me think, like, when's he gonna have time? You know, like,
Yeah, exactly.
Because if, like, I mean, if they know that he's directing on it, has to be coming out in the next couple of years, then that's when Fantastic Four is coming out. So I don't know. So that's the rumor. I've liked the things I've seen that he's directed.
Yeah.
WandaVision's my favorite TV show still. Succession, I've enjoyed what I've seen of it. Not much, but yeah, I definitely like what he's done, so that's exciting. Now, they had said that they weren't gonna really start casting it until they had a director, so he could like help with the casting.
Okay.
They also said they didn't know if they would get a director by Labor Day. If this is the director, they did beat that timeline a little bit, but not by much. And now with the director, a lot of times they like to work with people that they have acted with before, and so there are rumors of a couple people that he's directed in different shows playing Mr. Fantastic and stuff. I don't think there's any validity to any of them yet, so I won't really go into those, but I do like him as a director, I believe, so that's nice. What else? But I am definitely excited to see what they announce about that at D23. Now, the other rumors going about recently have been very closely tied to a certain webhead and what's going on with him in the Sony universe and in ours. Now, it's really interesting once again about contracts and stuff, because it does seem like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield do have contracts to be in movies. Now, as I've said before, we think they are going to be in Secret Wars, right? Going to be all these convergences and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Would make sense. But it does seem that Andrew Garfield is supposed to be in some Sony stuff. Some Sony Spider-Man stuff. So, what they're doing with that, we don't really know. Madam Web, a lot of stuff's been going on with that.
All right.
Yeah. But that's exciting, of course. Just Spider-Man's awesome, so yeah. We haven't gotten any new footage in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Though we did get some artwork. So before I had talked about what that Shuri had a Black Panther suit, right? We saw that in toys. Now we've seen what Mark 1 of Ironheart's thing will look like.
Okay.
People have been ragging it because it doesn't look like her Mark 1 in the comics. It doesn't, but not only do I think it looks amazing, I think it makes more sense to be her Mark 1 than what was her Mark 1 in the comics.
Really?
So, yeah, it looks fantastic in my opinion. And it makes just a lot of sense to be a Mark 1. We can get into why that is when later. We got concept art for Nakia, or we got actual art for Nakia and M'Baku. I don't know. And we got one with Shuri, but it's just like normal Shuri, it's not in the Black Panther suit. So they're still holding back on that, even though we have seen toys with it. But we haven't gotten any footage. I talked about last week the stuff with Namor being the first meeting. So, yeah, when D23 comes, I think we will get our next trailer for that. Of course, I think we'll get some actual trailers so we can see from Ant-Man. There's, of course, been a ton of talk about Doom, now that Doom's like, everybody thinks Doom's coming now. And with Kang and Secret Wars, there's lots of theories I'd love to talk about. I think I'll save that for next week's after party, though.
If we have a next week's after party.
I think we will. Well, it might not be released next week, but we'll record it next week.
Okay.
But there are a lot of rumors on that front. Am I missing anything? Talked about that. I guess the other rumors we'll talk about is World War Hulk, since we've been discussing that a little bit.
Yeah. What do we got there?
And actually, we were talking about Daredevil.
Yeah, he was supposed to be in this episode.
No, he wasn't. I mean, I did say last week that I thought he would be, but that's besides the point. Once I started watching, I was like, yeah, he's not going to be in this episode.
Oh, yeah. Just because you know the whole episode when you start watching it.
Apparently I did. I'm not saying I do every time, but I'm just saying he wasn't in it.
Fine, I expect to see him in the next episode.
I don't.
All right. Moving on.
All right.
Agree to disagree.
I feel like Wong's going to be the next like big cameo now that Abomination was brought into this one. But anyways. Beep boop, beep boop. What was I talking about? Daredevil.
Yep, Daredevil.
So there was the writer, I believe it was, of the Daredevil show that's coming out. I was saying how they were excited to look at the lighter side of Daredevil.
Really?
And you know, a lot of people are like, what? He's a dark character. Like, that's what made the Netflix series so good. They're going to make him this lighter character. Could be terrible. And yes, I agree with that. And no, I don't agree with that. No.
What?
What I agree with that is, yes, he is like a dark character. He's very blue. He's very in your face. He's very grotesque at times. And that does make him who he is, right? And I do think that is necessary. But at the same time, I think you can show the lighter side of him without ruining it. I think it will take away from it some. It won't be the same. We knew it wasn't going to be the same coming to Disney Plus. And I think that going to the lighter side of it, I don't know. I don't know if I want to see that in Daredevil, but I definitely want to see that with Charlie Cox.
Okay.
Like, I think seeing Charlie Cox play a more lighthearted version of Daredevil would be really interesting. I think and I also think they were probably talking a lot about how he was in She-Hulk, since She-Hulk is clearly a much more lighthearted show, that they might not have been fully talking about how he was going to be in his full solo adventures. But yeah, something to think about, I guess. Something to think about. But we are still years away, even though it feels like it's right there.
Calm down. Calm down.
But there's that. World War Hulk. I mean, it seems like it's coming. That's all I can say. I'm super excited for it. Bring on Scar. Bring on the Illuminati. You know, I don't think the Illuminati would be in it.
Well, but I do have this, me personally, I have this sense that the Illuminati are like there somewhere in our 616. Yeah. Either they had just started, or
don't you think Doctor Strange would have known something about that? And like, wait a second.
How do you know he wasn't a part of it?
I know, but in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, he didn't seem to be a part of it.
That's true. But how do you know that maybe he had just started?
Yeah, but wouldn't he be like, yeah, I know what you guys are doing here.
No, I'm saying he, like, how
you're saying he started because of?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's off with Clea.
That's true. But he could have started it, because we don't know how long it's been since.
That's true. But
all I'm saying is there's a chance he could have started it, okay?
I just don't feel like he'd go and see this Illuminati and be like fighting them and be like, you know what would be a good idea? Starting the Illuminati on our world.
No.
I'm not saying that
And how do you know he would have started it, though?
You just said he did.
That's true.
I felt like who would have started it? If Mr. Fantastic doesn't exist.
How do you know?
Iron Man's dead.
How do you know?
Namor is in Atlantis.
How do you know?
Black Panther's dead.
How do you know?
Here's the other one in the Illuminati. One more.
Charles Xavier?
Charles Xavier doesn't exist.
How do you know?
It's all I'm saying is don't seem like there's anybody to start it.
All I'm saying is that it could be active in the 616.
Name a member.
Doctor Strange.
You just said he didn't start it. And he's the only member?
I mean, Charles, you don't know like how.
I'm just like,
active-
name a member.
Okay, Charles Xavier.
He doesn't exist.
How do you?
He hasn't existed. I'm not saying he doesn't exist, but he hasn't existed. Why would he suddenly be running this shadow organization if he's never existed?
True. But he could have just come into the world. He's a little baby in a wheelchair, starting the Illuminati. All right.
All right. Well, confirmed Illuminati in the Earth 616 MCU universe. Now, once again, you made me lose track of what I was saying.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Let's move on to upcoming for Back and Forth, because next week we have a pretty exciting episode for you, because Spider-Man No Way Home is re-releasing in theaters with 11 new minutes of footage, and I'm going to see it, and we'll hopefully have company, and we will be able to bring you
We'll see.
our little review of what's new. As you know, we love this movie.
Great movie. Oh, 11 minutes.
And 11 new minutes of footage. What this will do? Will it ruin the movie? We don't know. Will it make it past Winter Soldier for the best MCU movie? We don't know.
Wait, what is your movie ranking for No Way Home?
Well, Back and Forth, it was number 2, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. And Winter Soldier was number one.
Yeah.
Number 1?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, because I want to let you put No Way Home number 1. Don't you remember our argument about this?
I don't know. I may have
You can go back. Apparently, Gecko Man needs to go back and listen to our episode 10, I think it was.
I think it was just our No Way Home movie review.
No, we ranked all the MCU movies
That's right.
in 2 different episodes. I think there were 9 and 10.
Okay. And you're saying,
And I'm saying it went. Our top 5. Our top 5 was. I remember our top 5. Top 4. Oh yeah, our top 5 is Homecoming, Endgame, Infinity War, No Way Home, Winter Soldier.
And No Way Home didn't make it first.
Yes, you wanted it to be first, and I said, and our reasoning in the episode was, we've only seen it in theaters this once. Like, it doesn't have the years and years of being number 1 that Winter Soldier has, so it can't really pass it right now. That was our. We didn't want it to be like it's just out. We didn't want it to be the excitement of seeing it.
You could say
So recently.
anything to really make me, because I do not remember this, but
I don't know how you don't remember this. I remember this.
you could really just say
Even listen
anything.
to our podcast.
All right.
This podcast has clearly gone off the rails.
It has. Oh,
Trust
man.
me, that's what happened. And go back and listen to it if you have to. But next week we will be watching. I will be watching this, and we will be talking about it next week.
Well, clearly
Along
I
with
need to come
She-Hulk.
if I don't remember a conversation.
You clearly do need to come. It's little. If it's your favorite movie,
I know. I love this movie. I don't know why I don't remember this conversation.
But anyways, we will be discussing that. We will be discussing She-Hulk episode 3 and preparing for the next week of D23.
Oh, yeah.
And then next week will be right before D23 starts. So we'll have our full getting ready for that and everything that we're excited for. There'll probably be tons of rumors coming out that week. Maybe even some looks at stuff beforehand that might be there. As you know, they always have
Maybe a little Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, maybe some Werewolf by Night. Finally, I mean, it's based on what Marvel fans are saying. It seems like it is coming out this Halloween. So, like, what the heck? But also, what I did hear though was like a mess. Like they couldn't decide. They were like so undecided on what they wanted it to be. Like some people wanted it to be this black and white gritty horror film, and other people wanted it to be this like all CGI. So it seems like it's like all. Maybe that's why they haven't announced anything, because it's all over the place. Like the writers can't even like get their story together.
Huh, that's an interesting thought.
Not sure what's going on.
Hopefully it doesn't ruin.
Hopefully, like
I'm really excited for this.
I feel like that means it's going to be pushed back, right?
Yeah.
But if it's like they clearly wanted it to be a Halloween special, so that could be the problem. It's like they were trying to, shoot it and do everything for it, but it's needing to come out this Halloween. So I'm like, if that's the case, just push it back to next Halloween and tell us that, please.
Yeah.
Don't give us something that's bad or
I really don't want them to mess this up.
Or Yeah, but like, I mean, black and white. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I love a lot of black and white movies.
So that's what's coming up for back and forth. Hopefully, we will have a back and forth. I mean, after party next week as well.
Well, maybe.
We will. And what are we gaming this week?
We are gaming this week. I didn't game last time just because I just got back from a trip and was really tired when I got back, so did not have the energy to get up and do it. But this week, gonna continue the whole Five Nights at Freddy's, try and beat that game.
Let's go.
Then afterwards, well, you'll just have to find out. I'll tell you. We'll tell you later.
Okay. Then I guess we'll see y'all next week.
Don't put yourselves inside a box.